All right. So, what I got with me is a sensory box that is used on patients that suffer from dementia. The purpose of the box is to see the neurological stimulation of the patients and identify the sensory defects. And then, I mean, it could either be sensory, emotional, social, or cognitive, but I'm focusing on a sensory box. Now, the skills that an activity director needs to work with the patient with the sensory box, you need to be fully engaged with the patient. Be respectful and make sure you have eye contact and talk to them like an adult. Don't talk down to them or don't talk dumb down to them, you gotta engage with them like you would engage anybody else. And then you're supposed to be aware on how to adapt the activities to the specific people because some patients may suffer greatly more with touching rather than smell. So you have to adapt a specific sensory box for a specific patient. And then what you see, how they're using the sensories, you got to see which ones are working for them and which ones are not working for them. Now, the goal of this box is to get an increased level of response from the patient, from every sensory level that they do, see what their outcome is, and then prevent any kind of sensory deprivation. And then it'll help the patient be aware of the world around them and what they are able to have the ability to do for themselves. Now, what I have in this box, I'm gonna start with the auditory. I have a Walkman. I know those were used way back when in the 70s, 80s. So I thought it would be a really good example. And I have two cassette tapes. One's Journey, and then one's Dirty Dancing. So they have two separate things to listen to, and that can kind of create memories of how they used to listen to it with their friends or with their loved ones. They're able to listen to that and remember memories that they are having trouble to remember. Now, the next thing, I have a tiny little bag, and what the purpose of the bag is to have the patient put their hand in the bag and identify the objects that are in there. I have a pen, and then I have a rubber band, and then I have a coin, and then I have a key. Those are very, distinct types of objects. I didn't want to do anything too vague like a chapstick or anything. But this will help them identify and get to their tactile senses. And I also thought about this as being also tactile. This is a wool dryer ball. I know you can't really see it in the video, but it's very woolly and it's very rough. It's a different texture of feel, but this is actually for the olfactory. It has a very distinct magnolia smell. I don't want to do any perfume or anything because some people are sensitive to different smells, and this is a laundry smell, organic. So it's very vague though. But they can use this to smell and to identify what they're smelling if they can smell it. And then the visual, I have these Sharpies. I picked the color of the rainbow, and I was thinking maybe an activity director or the patient themselves draw something with the colors, using all of the colors and identifying, seeing what colors are what as the visual. And then the last thing, I picked a lemon. I could see this as going three ways. I'm gonna use it as taste. You cut open a lemon, it's very citrusy. It's a very distinct, rather than, spices or anything like having spicy. It's just a very citrusy taste. But it can also be used as touch because it's a very rough texture, and also you can press it a little bit, and then also when you cut a lemon, it smells really good. There's lemon scents everywhere, so that can be used for 3 different ways. But the general purpose of the sensory box is to make sure that the patient and see how the patient deals with different sensory, and see what sensory defects that the patient has, and then work with them more on that type of sensory, and then they can remember certain things. It doesn't have to be anything like pictures of their loved ones, but it can just be general like this. So this is my sensory box. Thank you.